Hey, what's up? This is John with Gump 2024, and I am taking the Kennedy Cares Challenge. On January 1st of this year, I set out on a trip that would take me across the country from Key West, Florida to San Diego, California. It was a 135-day trip on foot and 3,900 miles. I was walking, I was backpacking, I was running a bit, all with Forest for President Gump 2024. I just felt like running. The idea or premise behind the whole trip was that our two-party system does not have the interest of the average American person in mind, and I was proposing a strong third-party candidate that was independent and was not bought by corporate interest or special interest. Along the way, I was proposing to people to vote for Forrest Gump instead of Trump or Biden, who were the presumptive nominees and at the time. And the funny thing was, most people said, yeah, I would vote for Gump over those two guys. I ran into a problem with this whole trip was that we didn't have an actual candidate to vote for. Forrest Gump is fictional, and while he has good characteristics, you can't put him down. So when I got back to Missouri, to my business, which is here along the Katy Trail in Missouri, the longest rail to trail in the country, I asked myself, was that it? Was that all the run was about? And along the way, people had mentioned RFK Jr. as an option. I didn't know much about RFK other than what the news articles said about him, and I heard one cut-up video that he was talking about vaccines. So I said, I like his spirit, but I don't necessarily agree with all of his philosophies. When I got back to Missouri, I had some time, and I'm not afraid of controversial ideas. I actually engage in those because I want to know what I believe about them, and I'm not afraid of information. So I decided, let's look into what he has to say. It only took about a video or two before I realized that this person is touching on all the most important things and existential issues that are important to me and the country. He talks about battling the opioid crisis by legalizing the sale of marijuana federally, taking the taxes, making these recovery farms, and allowing people that are dealing with drug addiction and depression, thoughts of suicide, to go for free. Well, that's a good idea, and it just might work. He talks about ending wars abroad. We have 800 bases in 200 countries, and I've heard this reasoning before, and he says, bring them all home. We'll arm our borders to the teeth, make ourselves too expensive to invade, and project economic power abroad. Wow, that's a good idea. That sounds like it might work. The country is suffering from chronic disease mainly because of, or potentially because of, the type of food that we eat, the processed food industry. He wants to work on the way that we make food, and even talks about regenerative farming and how that could alleviate the burden of chronic disease, which is one of the biggest expenses that the federal government pays. But most importantly, with Gump 2024, as I was mentioning the corporate interest, he realizes that the country has been captured by corporations and their interests. They pay for the politicians that they know will support laws being written to help their future. And he worked for 40 years as an environmental lawyer, suing all of these corporations. So hey, he might have a chance. And so for all of those reasons, because he cares, I care about him. I got the hat. I wear it every day at my business. I put up a mural that says America Strong and has a Lincoln quote that says, a house divided against itself cannot stand. I want to challenge everyone to take this, but the Kennedy Cares Challenge, I'm going to call out one of my friends, former co-workers, commercial real estate agent from Pennsylvania, Joe Mazer. He's a friend on Facebook. And because I couldn't find anyone else, when in doubt, trust young people. I'm going to challenge the Students for Kennedy 2024. Let's show that we care about Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and his running mate Nicole Shanahan. I want to thank them for their service to our country.